Joe Burrow rumors? New York Jets? We'll talk about it. Boy Green Daily starts now.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Let's go!
Put your seatbelts on. Get ready for the ride. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcasts. A free way to contribute is by liking the video if you're coming on YouTube, whether you're watching live or after the fact. We appreciate it. Also, shout out to Facebook, Twitter, audio replay listeners on YouTube, and, of course, the audio-only version of the podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. Every Friday, we're joined by a very special guest, one of my favorites. Let's get right to it, and then we'll talk about the topic du jour. It is none other than Bob Gosh Darn Lederer. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Boy Green Daily viewers.
Yeah.
Hey, before we get started, I hear people saying, I don't know what to get my family for Christmas.
Oh, do you have an idea?
Yeah, there's...
Okay, wait.
I don't know if you can see it. I don't see it.
Yeah, background's eating it a little bit. You might have to bring it closer to the camera, maybe. Yep, to your right, maybe.
Either that or you can pull one off your shelf.
Oh, yeah, that might be easier. I actually have it right here, as a matter of fact.
Now,
I
have to tell everybody out there, it's so popular.
Yeah.
It may be hard to get in hard copy. But
which I haven't.
But you can get it in paperback, and you can get the audio version.
Ah, okay, so there it is. Beyond Broadway Show, the Super Team that changed football.
And in these inflationary times, it's very inexpensive if you get the paperback or you get the audio version.
Okay. See, there you go. Christmas.
Anyway, I try to be helpful to all your viewers.
Thank you. I appreciate that. To be honest,
Joe Burrow,
all the time I'm thinking about it. Oh, yeah, Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, baby. So let's get into it. There's a lot to unpack here. First off, I won't play all Joe Burrow's comments because his press conference is too long, but we'll boil it down to this. Here's a screenshot from NFL insider Ari Meroff. So this is what happened at Joe Burrow's press conference earlier this week, which raised a lot of eyebrows. He had this sort of reflective press conference that Ari Meroff described as at times a bit dark. Joe Burrow said this, quote, "If I want to keep doing this, I have to have fun doing it. I've been through a lot. It's not fun. If it's not fun, then what am I doing it for? There's just a lot of things going on right now." And again, the presser was much longer than these quotes, but just to give you guys sort of a sense. And he continued to have comments of this nature. Adam Schefter on his podcast called those alarming. Here's what he had to say on his podcast. We won't play this clip. I'll just read you the quote. Quote, "I thought the most intriguing comments I heard from anybody this week was Joe Burrow on Wednesday in Cincinnati. Talk about the fun or lack of fun he's having and his future there, basically. I could tell you this. Other teams in the league took notice. I could tell you that for a fact. I know that because I was texting with some of them." Adam Schefter eventually calling those comments alarming from Joe Burrow and saying, every team in the league just took notice, which then takes us to this, Bob, that where do the Jets come into the mix? Well, former NFL quarterback, one of our favorites, Dan Orlovsky, was on Unsportsmanlike Radio, and he name-dropped the Jets. Let's play a piece of that clip.
Dan, would it shock you if Joe Burrow after this season retired?
It would shock me if he retired, yes. Obviously, there's a lot of similarities here to Andrew Luck. It would shock me if 3 teams weren't on the phone today after what he said yesterday, figuring out how do we make him part of our football team now, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now. He obviously is in a bad place with that organization. It's not surprising. But I would be very surprised if he chose not to play football.
Are you 3 teams you're saying offhanded, or do you have 3 teams in mind?
I have 3 in mind.
Care to share?
Jets, Raiders, Steelers.
Oh.
Those would be the 3 that if I were those 3 organizations, I'm in a brainstorm meeting now. We are figuring out a way to propose a way to get Joe Burrow. And I don't necessarily care what it takes.
Neither would I.
There you go. That is Dan Orlovsky. Now, let's say something immediately about his three teams. We can eliminate the Steelers. The Bengals are trading inside their division of Pittsburgh, so I don't give a flying who what they offer. And quite frankly, I'd be un-Pittsburgh-like if you look at their history, making some crazy trade with the assets it would require. So Jets, Raiders are the two teams I heard on that list. We go to you, Bob Lederer. Joe Burrow. Does that intrigue you? Does that titillate the
Well,
senses?
yeah, the concept is intriguing, but my first reaction was, oh no, that's all we're going to talk about on Friday morning. And it's not bad. I mean, it is remarkable that a team that is 3-10 still has something to talk about at this point in the season.
Yep.
Even if it
Always
is next season. But he said three things.
Okay.
After he said, I have to be happy playing football.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to get back to that in a second, but here are the three things he said.
Okay.
I want to be paid as the elite quarterback that I am. I think he's already under contract and being paid big bucks.
Yes, I actually have that in front of me. So let's reveal this real quick as you're going through. I want to make sure I have all the stats here for you. Yes, he is the second highest paid quarterback in football at $55 million per year.
Poor kid. Two.
Yes.
I want both of my number one receivers to get paid here. How much are those two star receivers he has getting paid?
Okay, we definitely have that information.
And what's their contract status?
Yes, so let's go through. Jamar Chase is the highest paid receiver in football at $40.25 million, and T. Higgins. Let me do my math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
And Higgins just signed last winter, right?
He did. He is the 11th highest paid receiver in football at $28.75 million. So he has two of the top 11 highest paid wide receivers in football.
Poor boys.
Yeah, tough.
Third, why don't we have money for an offensive line? Well, it might be because you're paying 55 plus 40 something plus 28 something. Usually I can do this really fast, but it's only 5:30 in the morning here.
Yeah.
It's so 55 and 40 and 42 is 97, and add another 28, and you're at what, 125?
Yes. Yep. Yep. That's exactly. You actually nailed it, Bob. Very nice.
Thanks
$125 million per year. There you go.
My late dad, who really drilled math into me, and he had this thing where he said to me, you have to be able to do this stuff if I wake you up at 2:00 in the morning and ask you what's 7 times 6.
Wow.
So I always know what 7 times 6 is.
Which would be 40.
Talk about growing up in a military family, which I didn't, but you did.
Yeah. Yes, quite.
Joe Burrow also said, as I said in the beginning, I have to be happy if I'm going to continue playing football.
Yeah.
That is Andrew. Well, that's not Andrew Luckish, because although he's been injured like Andrew Luck was all the time, he hasn't had the same kind of injuries that Andrew Luck has. But he clearly, in complaining about the offensive line, is saying, I'm tired of getting beaten up every time I get, under the center. Now, the Jets, the Raiders, they may want, and the Steelers, they may want to be in on the game. But this morning, as I was showering to look really good for you guys today, in Chicago, the story that's making the rounds is the Vikings want him. Where do you think he's going to go if he has a choice between the Steelers, the Raiders, the Jets, or the Vikings, if he wants to be happy playing football? But even beyond that, it's very clear, and I was watching O'Leary yesterday, and he made the point, and others have too. There's no team that is in as good a position as the Jets to offer Cincinnati what it's probably going to want if they are willing to trade him, and that is a lot of draft picks so they can get a bunch of guys that they don't have to pay anything for. Because that's the Cincinnati Bengals philosophy, beginning with the late lamented and star owner Paul Brown, up through his kid Mike, today. It's intriguing, sure. So the question then becomes, all right, how much do you have to give up? And on the Fan yesterday, they were talking about, or on ESPN New York yesterday, they were talking about the first round pick this year, both of the first round picks this year, and maybe one of the first round picks next year. Then I saw all of the draft picks this year, both first round picks, and the first round pick next year, the second this year, and the second next year. Okay. And so here is where it then goes for me. Do we want Joe Burrow?
Okay.
Oh, damn straight we want Joe Burrow. And we have an offensive line that can protect
Oh,
him.
yeah.
At least more of the time.
We do.
But we also have holes. And he wants to win. I don't know if I were him and I looked at the history of the New York Jets franchise and their present, boy, AG and Darren Muji, they better be great psychiatrists to basically talk to him. By the way, one of the other things that was pretty clear yesterday, although no one really stated it, and he didn't, he said when he talks about being happy, he's talking about his job as a quarterback and personal. And it sounded like somebody whose family or romantic life may have been disintegrating.
Which makes sense. It's Ohio. What the hell's happening over there? New York, New Jersey.
But hey, Paul, we all know he's an Ohio guy, and that's why he had so much of a willingness to play there. And getting paid $55 million at the same time ain't bad. Now, I don't know. To me, if I was going to lay odds, and I don't bet on anything, as you know,
of course,
I'd say there was a 10% chance that this thing could work out.
So you're saying there's a chance,
but in Dumber and Dumber, you mean there's a chance? Yeah, there's a chance.
All right, here we go.
Let's see if he keeps his mouth shut. If they lose the next couple of games, I mean, he had to be devastated by the loss they had against Buffalo last week. And that may be a good part of the reason why he is in the mental state that he's in, because we saw firsthand the unbelievable record-setting defense that he has, playing alongside him in Cincinnati. And they just had their covers blown off in the last 4 minutes.
Yeah. So, here's a crazy stat, right? Because we brought up Andrew Luck. We brought up Andrew Luck a few times, and that makes sense. And this stat from Adam Schefter in his podcast, it's depressing more than anything else. But here it is. Andrew Luck, when he retired, had played in 86 NFL games. And across those 86 games, he was sacked 174 times. And what everyone believes happened with Andrew Luck is he got beat up so much by that bad Colts offensive line that he retired earlier than he would have if he had a better offensive line. So, again, 86 games, 174 times he was sacked.
What are we talking about? Do you have similar stats for Joe Burrow?
That I do, Bob Lederer.
Oh, I knew you would. You have a bag of tricks there.
I do. Bob, so do you know the answer to this question I'm about to ask?
No.
Oh, perfect. Then let me give you a chance to guess. Okay?
I'm all ears.
Okay.
I'm all ears. Go ahead.
Again, Andrew Luck, 86 games, was sacked 174 times. Here's the number I will give you to help, if that helps at all.
I gotta write this down. Okay.
Okay. All right. So go ahead. Joe Burrow has played 13 fewer games than Andrew Luck has. Okay. So 70. Joe Burrow has only played 73.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And Andrew Luck played 86. Across Andrew Luck's 86, he was sacked 174 times. How many times do you believe Joe Burrow has been sacked in his 73 games in the NFL?
I'll bet you he's been sacked 140 times.
Okay. The number is 203. So let me just put this into perspective for people, because I know, Bob, you're a mathematician over there. But for the people out in the audience, that means Joe Burrow has played in 13 fewer games than Andrew Luck, and he's been sacked 29 more times.
Well, he's been sacked an average of 3 times a game, and simple math with Andrew Luck, he was sacked twice a game on average.
Good Lord, no wonder Joe Burrow's that happy. He's getting beat up over there, for God's sakes. And
and again, Bob, I think when you combine that with the record-setting defense that he has playing, that he even had to watch when he was injured. I mean, you can imagine how can you? I mean, they won a couple of games when he came back,
Yeah.
and they looked like they were. Last week was a big turning point for them because that really could have put them, right back into the race. And instead, they're out of the central race.
And you
we,
talked about the Jets' history, Bob. You talked
Yeah.
about the Jets' history. They have a very rich history of treating Joes. Joe Namath, Joe Joe. It makes sense to me. That's gotta. There's gotta be some math in there.
I've been a couple of other Joes, unfortunately.
Those ones fall off memory. I'm not sure who you're referencing, but come on, man. Joe Burrow, wouldn't that be exciting?
The only other Joe I remember there was not a Joe, Joe Donaluni, and his name fit. His name fit his his playing style.
Yeah.
I think you'll agree with me.
Okay.
One of the things that we've talked about a lot and given the Jets credit for is that they have kept their problems internal.
Correct.
Particularly their players.
Yeah.
Williams, didn't go loudly, even though he told the Jets internally 3 times, "Get me the heck out of here."
Yep.
Brees, through some third party, may or may not have made that point to them, in a couple of hours before the trading deadline. Sauce said he wanted to stay here, and I think he did. Is Joe Burrow going to now go silent regardless of what happens when he plays on Sunday? That could go a long way towards making a trade possible. There's no doubt that Cincinnati will covet a lot of high draft picks because why wouldn't they? They have nothing to lose.
Right.
How much effort, how much money, how much draft capital are they going to need to start to build a defense? A lot.
That's true.
So the question then becomes, how much are the Jets willing to give up?
Well, let me throw this one out. There's another offer here that's been floating around social media. Shout out to Will Parkinson. It's been a while since we've had Willie on the show. We'll have to get him on here. This is what he threw out there, and again, it went viral on social media. A lot of people reacting to it. This is Will Parkinson, again, NFL analyst. He's also the host of the Turn On the Jets podcast. And for our audio-only listeners, I'll read it out to you in full. This is what he would offer for Joe Burrow. The 2026 first for the Jets, which is right now 7th overall. The second-round draft choice, the Jets' second-round draft choice. The Cowboys' first-round pick in 2027. That will be Cowboys or Packers. It depends which one is higher. The Jets' first-round pick in 2027 and a third-round pick. So he says, 3 ones and a top 40 pick, basically 4 ones and maybe a player to make salaries match a bit more. Bengals then flushed with basically 5 additional ones next 12 months to rebuild and draft a quarterback, and the Jets obviously have Burrow. Thoughts on that, Bob Lederer?
Okay, he makes $55 million a year. What does that do to our salary cap?
We got $100 million. We can take him.
All right, well, I'm not saying he can't fit in.
Yeah,
he does.
Yeah,
but it takes us maybe from $100 million to, I'll guess, $75 million.
Oh yeah, right. In terms of the cap hit for this year.
Yeah, in terms of cap space, because we still have needs. I mean, and particularly if you're, and here's the other thing for Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
who the heck's he going to throw to? I mean, okay, we've got one, high quality receiver, and we got 2 other guys who are saying, "Give me a shot, give me a shot, give me a shot," and we're giving them a shot. And so far, there have been not terrible results. I think they've shown enough to be on the roster next year, but to me, they're number 3 or 4 or 5 on the wide receiver depth chart for the Jets. Which brings up a second point, and that is about Fernando.
Yes.
One of the things I wanted to talk about today, in addition to Joe Burrow, obviously, is the Jets themselves and the fan base.
Yeah.
Coming to grips with exactly how good is this guy. Now, I think
what guy are you referencing? Fernando. Oh.
Dan, would it shock you?
Whoops, we played the wrong video.
I want to hear that. Go ahead. I want to hear the.
Oh yeah, baby.
Is Fernando
Mm.
a star franchise quarterback,
Yes.
or is he a very, very good field manager like Jared Goff? I don't think it matters,
Right.
but I think you have to go in with that thought in mind. One of the critiques of Fernando about Indiana, and I think Alon said it,
Yeah.
but others certainly have. Hello, Alon. I hope we'll hear from you today.
I'm sure we'll. Yeah.
Is that Fernando's been running a very run heavy offense, which is exactly what AG wants to do. And that will take a lot of pressure off, whoever they have as quarterback until Fernando, if they get him, is ready to play next year. But I am not of the mind so far, having only really seen one full game of this guy, to think that going back into my time machine, he ain't Jim Plunkett coming out of Stanford, who was a can't miss. He's not Peyton, who was a can't miss. He is not Andrew Luck, who was a can't miss. I think he's a very, very good quarterback. He's shown he stays cool under pressure, and he plays even better in the hot spots late in a game than he does, at any other point, because he's got the cool and the poise, and he's got, good players around him, and the Jets would offer him a very good offensive line and at least one high quality wide receiver. And frankly, I think they got a couple of tight ends now that are pretty decent receivers, and they got running backs who are pretty decent receivers. Still need that second receiver, which I'm hoping they're going to get in free agency, because they trade all that draft capital. Well, they're not going to trade the draft capital if they draft Fernando. So, both are win-win situations for the Jets, but they present different realities.
Yes.
Whichever way the Jets go. And so I throw it to you, Mr. Leader of the pack of
yes,
the Boy Green Coffee Club.
Yeah.
What's your preference?
Well, I want to say this because Alon ripped into my poor boy Fernando, saying he's nothing more than a middling average quarterback in the NFL. His ceiling is being a top 15 quarterback.
Well, because he didn't play well against Iowa.
Apparently. But I read this piece. Dane Brugler dropped a piece this morning. They did a little Q&A on the draft, and I want to read from Dane Brugler on Fernando. So Alon and everyone else in the chat, buckle your seatbelts. This is one of the best draft experts in the building that does wonderful work. And he had Fernando Mendoza going number 1 overall in his mock draft. And he wrote this. I receive this comment all the time. This is the guy you have teams trading up for to the number 1 pick in your mock draft. He said, I received a handful of comments like that in the first quarter of the Big Ten championship game. You want to know how many I received after the final 3 quarters? Not much. Things rarely go as planned in football, and the best quarterbacks keep their calm and become even more focused in those pressing moments. Mendoza has put that mental toughness on display multiple times this season. He threw a fourth-quarter pick-6 against Oregon that tied the score, then answered immediately with a 12-play drive that ended with a go-ahead touchdown pass. It wasn't always pretty against Iowa, but Mendoza made several NFL-level throws that led to another late-game-winning touchdown, and his final drive against Penn State cemented Mendoza's legendary status in Indiana history. In the Big Ten title game against the number 1 defense in the country, Indiana quarterback Mendoza had a hard time early, not because of any major faults by its quarterback. Mendoza continued to battle and made several key throws to secure the win, though the box score scouts might not be impressed. Anyone who watched the game gets why Mendoza is so well liked by NFL teams. I don't think there are many unanswered questions on the field when it comes to Mendoza's evaluation. NFL teams certainly will welcome more high-profile games against tough opponents to see how far Mendoza and his competitive poise can extend Indiana's Cinderella season. Obviously, that'll be coming up in the college football playoff. So hopefully that answers some action out there in the universe for all the people that are coming after my boy Fernando Mendoza. But to your question, Bob, where you say, which one do I prefer, Joe Burrow or Fernando Mendoza? The answer is unequivocally yes. And you say, what? I give you 2 choices. Yes. Because the fact of the matter is that
you're so equivocal. I really, that's what I like about you.
Conviction, baby.
You don't sit on the fence and roll back.
No wavering. Yes, because the Jets have the assets to do both. I love Fernando. I love Joe Burrow too. I love both. I'm Brick Tamlin from Anchorman. I love Lamp. I love Lamp. And Lamp looks pretty damn good right now. Joe Burrow is proving.
How much are you willing to give up for Joe Burrow, or do you care?
I give my left kidney up. I don't care. I'll give up, relatively speaking, whatever it takes. Although I did see an offer yesterday that was that I was tagged in on social media that said all 5 number ones in Garrett Wilson. I said, okay, that's wait just a second here. That's
Cincinnati. Cincinnati doesn't want Garrett Wilson's salary.
That's probably true anyway. So yeah, but someone tagged me in that, and I'm like, okay, that's not happening. But in a general, I'm willing to negotiate. I'm willing to talk. Here's the thing: I think the Jets can beat out any other team's offer. So you mentioned
there's no other team that has the capital that they do. No. I mean, Cleveland for 1 year this year,
if they
wanted to trade both their picks, could stay in the ballpark, but they don't have anything else going forward. They don't have 2 numbers, second round picks.
And the Bengals won't trade him inside division, so Cleveland's eliminated.
I'm really going to watch closely. I want Shedeur Sanders to just knock down the door here in Chicago on Sunday, even though it's going to be 6 degrees with a wind chill that takes it down to -19. But he's played interesting football the last couple of weeks. Certainly not. He hasn't played like a 5th rounder. But as someone said, he probably was not a 1st rounder, but he wasn't a 5th rounder either. The guy has some talent. And if he and his dad could keep their mouths shut, he probably would have had a better draft position. But the key team that you pointed out the other day that we want to lose is who? Tennessee?
Who's the team I want to lose?
There's one team that I believe if the Jets lost through, and I know it's not the Giants, and I know it's not Washington, and I don't think it's Cleveland.
Of the team we want to win, you mean?
No, that we want to win a game because
yes, the Raiders. The Raiders is the team.
The Raiders. Okay, yeah. And the Raiders are the greatest threat because they have the greatest need.
Correct. Yeah, that's exactly true. And just because we're talking draft real quick, I'll get this one out of the way because last night the Falcons upset the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And some people would say, what does that have to do with the Jets? Well, twofold. I think that was good news for the Jets because the Falcons were a 4-win team. The Jets are a 3-win team. We'll talk about this later, Bob, but spoiler alert, Jets have 4 games remaining in their season. I don't think they're winning one more the rest of the way. But maybe you could convince me one, which would be New Orleans, who they play next week. If the Jets and Falcons ended up with the same record, the Falcons would pick ahead of the Jets because their strength of schedule is far different than the Jets in a good way for them. But the Falcons won. So now there's a 2-game gap with 4 games to play for the Jets. And I like those odds of the Jets and Falcons not finishing with the same record because I don't think the Jets are going to win 2 games. So I think that was good that the Falcons backed up. And the other good news is in front of the Jets, a lot of these teams play each other. The Giants and Raiders play each other. The Jets and Saints play each other. The Titans and Saints play each other. So some of these teams are going to have to beat each other up, which is going to drop them inevitably and allow the Jets to rise up. Because I know a lot of Jet fans were frustrated this past week. Oh, we lost. Wait, we're still picking 7. And they're like,
I wanted to welcome everybody to the Tankathon training.
Yeah, there you go.
This week, listen, guys, there's plenty of room. We have extra seats that we've loaded on just for you. So come on and join us on the Tankathon.
Yes, there you go. And we're here loud and proud. So here we are.
Even Boy Green is now on the Tankathon.
Well, I mean,
he won't admit it. He'll never admit it. But he loves his team too much to do anything other than tank.
Right. I can't outwardly root for the Jets to lose. Like on Sunday when I'm doing play-by-play.
I want him to make every game close. But
okay, lose. There you go. There you go. So some drama. Okay.
I don't want to see him blow. I don't like him being blown. San Diego, 21-0 down in the first quarter last week. I went, oh my God.
Oh yeah. Immediately.
Come on, we're better than this.
You would think. But yeah, that was brutal. That was painful. And then I hate the Dolphins, so it just makes it worse. And yeah, that was awful. That was awful. And then you just sort of had a feeling like, oh boy, that's
my hate team from the beginning has been Buffalo because they would win AFL championships in the 60s when I was a fan, and they would pin our ears back when we played them.
Yeah. Well, I could
Anyway.
understand where. Yeah. Let's get to this. A couple of things here. We'll go with the goofy first. Shout out to our guy EZ here, who sends in a super chat. Thank you, EZ.
Wow.
No hair, weak Samson. No beard, dumb boy Green. Well, you know, again, a lot less beard now. I'm closer to Bob than I've ever been before. So, we'll see.
But I shaved this morning. I could have shown you something.
Yeah, and I shaved this morning too, and it already grew back. It's unbelievable. That's just the math of it, I guess. But beautiful nonetheless. Thank you, EZ, for the super chat. I know Jared B said he gifted a membership, but I'm not seeing it on my docket. So, Jared B, if you see it in there, I will attempt to fix that for you in a little bit. And then on a very serious note, thank you, EZ, for that super chat. On a very serious note, one of our Boy Green Coffee Club members is deal with some big issues right now, and I don't know what I'm allowed to share, so I will share what I can. And I see Jared B in here. Thoughts and prayers for our guy Johnny Boy, he's in the hospital right now, and a very scary situation. And we're praying and thinking of Johnny Boy. Again, I don't want to share too much information. I don't know what the family wants to be able to be shared out in the universe, but Johnny Boy had to go
Johnny,
to the hospital.
we hope you're okay and better. I know it's been health-wise a tough week for you, and as also a Met fan and myself,
true,
an especially tough week.
100%. Yeah, it's been very tough.
Our prayers are with you.
To be honest, the Mets probably could have sent him to the hospital. I don't know if the doctors have officially checked if that was the reason, but in all seriousness,
So
Johnny, we're all
might be
thinking about it.
it's not psychological, I'm sure.
I don't think there may be a physical. Oh dear Lord, Pete Alonso.
Luckily, my house is only 2 stories high, so even if I threw myself off the second story and tried to land on my head, I would have landed in a snowdrift.
Yeah, I see. So, but I appreciate the effort, the hustle. That's beautiful. But yes, folks, please send your kind words. Snowball has given me a few updates, and again, let's pray and hope Johnny Boy ends up being just okay with that situation. Again, I'll send details as I'm allowed to share them here on the program. So again, prayers up for Johnny Boy. If people want more information, there's a little bit more information on our Discord channel that you guys can share in there as well. All right, let's do this. There's a lot of people begging for the phone lines, Bob. Oh boy, this is going to be eventful, as it normally is here on the show.
Hey, that's
but
good.
before we get there, Bob, I'll give you a chance here. So the Jets have 4 games left in their season. At Jacksonville, 9-4, first place in the AFC South. At New Orleans, they have a top 5 pick right now. Home for New England, baby, the final home game of the season. Then at Buffalo, that will be the final game in the old Ralph, the old Buffalo Bills Stadium before they move across the street. How many games are the Jets winning this season?
1.
And is it Saints?
No.
Oh. Or which one is it? Do you know?
They're gonna blow the whole draft thing by beating a team they have no business beating.
Okay. That would be very Jetsy.
It could be New England. I think the Patriots will come in and they'll think these guys are pushovers. They're done. Let's just kick their what. And the Jets will do something. I've been a fan long enough. I've seen enough of these, end of season, victories that have no business happening. I'm afraid. Obviously, I'm hoping for them to lose all 4, and the one that I'm teetering on being concerned about is New Orleans, but their quarterback has played relatively well.
Tyler
Shough, it's a home
yes.
game for them, and that's a tough place to play too because of the noise.
Yeah.
So we'll see, but I'm on edge about the Jets doing something stupid like winning a game that they have no reason to win.
You're right, because again, it's super realistic. Even the most pessimistic Jets fan, the Jets beating the Saints could make a lot of sense. That makes sense. New Orleans is worse off than the Jets, for Pete's sake. But you're right that wouldn't be the game they win. The game that you think.
Yeah, it's the one that would come completely,
right.
Out of the stratosphere, and it's. In the NFL, as Pete Rozelle wanted decades ago, any team can beat any other team. If Cleveland could beat Green Bay earlier this year,
sure,
and I mean, they just whipped them. Anything can happen. I mean, I'm looking at this Sunday. I'm really curious to see what Cleveland's going to do here in Chicago.
Yeah.
Because
Old Shedeur.
if Shedeur has another good game, Cleveland could be in it all afternoon. It's funny, injecting a little bit of Bearsism into this. Ben Johnson continues to basically criticize Caleb Williams every single week. His throwing is the weak link in their offense because he's always throwing from awkward angles. And so he doesn't have the right kind of footwork that would vastly improve his accuracy. You see all these pictures here every week of him with one leg in the air and another leg like this, and he's throwing off a sidearm, whatever, and then you wonder why he's not having a higher completion percentage. So anything can happen. I wouldn't put it beyond the Bears losing this week, especially in such freezing cold. So anyway, but we'll see.
Hey, here's some memberships flying in.
All right, good.
Okay,
good.
Here we go. Jared B. An Austrian Jet fan has a membership being gifted. Hey now. Jared B., you're up to 3 raffle tickets. Number 1 Austrian Jet fan, you're up to 13. These 2 raffle tickets went to Dick Chimney's Burner. Welcome back. And I see for number 1 Austrian Jet fan, that went to Gur the Blow, 8021. And here are some of the items that are up for bids this month. Look at this cute little thing. The Jet Santa Funko Pop. There you go. That's a holiday.
Wow, look at that.
There you go. We have this coming to you. A Jets Santa Funko Pop. And speaking of beards, because that's been the theme of the show, this Nick Mangold tribute shirt, baby. The Nick Mangold beard, the Golden Locks, a True Jet 74 tribute shirt. And I bought this for the Jets, and those proceeds go to the National Kidney Foundation, which is terrific. That's unfortunately the reason we lost Nick Mangold. So good to know that money went to a good place. So we've got the Nick Mangold shirt. We've got the Jet Santa Funko Pop, and we'll put our tailgate in a box. Eventually, we'll have Bob Lederer at one of these tailgates. And if you missed it, we have the tailgate shirts, some koozies, some of the fun stuff from the tailgate. We'll ship all that to you as well. So all of that bundle will be gifted away on January 1st. If you guys want a chance to win all of those awesome items, all you have to do is gift a Boy Green Coffee Club membership or super chat or super sticker it up.
A late Christmas gift.
Could be for somebody. That's for dang sure. Appreciated.
Next month, I hear if the Jets win 2 of the next 4, I think you're going to have a rope for a Jet fan to use.
Jesus, but that's probably true. That is probably true. So dark but true. All right, Joe Burrow and Bob Lederer. Yeah, there you go. I'll sign that. I'm not sure how that'll work on the rope, but we'll do our best. Half time out. More coming up after this. Let's go.
1, 2, 3. Whoa! Boy Green, fucking daily, fucking daily, fucking daily. Talking Jets football, man. Boy Green daily, fucking daily, fucking daily. The New York Jets Football Club. Offense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boy Green. Everyone, J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets. Boy Green, fucking daily, fucking daily, fucking daily. Talking Jets football, man. All right. Boy Green, fucking daily, fucking daily, fucking daily. Nice. Offense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boy Green. J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets. Let's go!
Oh, yeah, baby. Let's go. Welcome back to Boy Green Daily. I'm your lovely host, Paul Eston Jr. Call me Boy Green if you'd like. Welcome to the program. And since you stopped by, make sure you guys hit that like button on YouTube. We have 300 people in the room. Over 100 of those are coming up on YouTube, baby. So make sure you guys, if you enjoy the product or quite frankly hate the product, I don't care if you love it or hate it, just give a like. Yeah, that helps the program, baby. Only 31 likes though, but over 100 people in the room. That math don't math. So make sure you guys hit that up. We're here on a Friday. My co-host for today's festivities are the one and only Bob Lederer, and there are people all over the phone line. So without further ado, let's get to it. Oh, wait a second. It's my pop's favorite shipmate, DNY for life, baby, with a raffle. I love it. Raffle. Can I get a raffle? Yes. DNY for life. Devin, baby. He gifted a Boy Great Coffee Club membership, which went to T. Rivera. Welcome back to T. Rivera here on the program. And by the way, DNY for life, you're up to 11 raffle tickets so far this month. Again, I will eventually update the scrolling ticker. It's a little out of date, but we'll get that soon. All right,
and
Bob.
DNY for life, I'm ready to cash in.
Let me see. Let me see. Devin is not on the phone line yet, so we'll see.
I know he's not. I know he's not.
Yeah, at some point, maybe
he's been shy. He's been shy as the season has gone on.
Yeah, I'm sure that's completely unrelated. Bob, do you want to introduce our first caller here?
Here's Hef.
Hey.
Thanks, Ed. Have another drink.
What is going on, Hef?
So, I heard Ty Simpson. Well, first things first. Johnny boy, we love you.
Bring up Ty Simpson.
No, Johnny boy, we love you.
Prayers
Speak
up.
well. Our hearts are there. We're praying for you. Whatever you need, let us know.
Of course.
And but I heard about Ty Simpson. He's been hurt since Halloween. Something about a slipped disc. And
what was that?
A slipped disc.
Oh, slipped disc. Slipped disc. I see.
Disc.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
You know what I can't stand about watching Ty Simpson, Hef?
What's that?
30 seconds to get a snap from center.
What do you mean?
Oh my God, he stands there and he's calling signals and guys are moving and this and that. And I'm looking on my watch. How many seconds until they hike the ball? Come on.
Right.
Thanks.
Now, if who are we looking at maybe coming out? Fernando, Simpson, and who's the other guy? Moore?
Yes, Moore's up in the air, the Oregon kid, whether or not he's going to come out. Todd McShay had people telling him a couple of months ago, nah, he's definitely not coming out.
And Alon said it too.
Yeah, Alon said it too, Alon's people. Yeah. And Dane Brugler is someone I trust a lot in the draft business. He comes out with the beast every year. He is one of the most dedicated draft people on the planet. He had Dante Moore in his mock draft, and he had some indications that maybe it's not as clear that Dante Moore is going back to school. So he could be in the mix, yes.
I heard that Simpson might be going back to school because of the injury and the
limited experience. Yeah.
And the lackluster finish.
Yeah, well, he's had a lackluster year, so he hasn't done, positive things for his draft capability.
Yeah. Well, he was doing well at the beginning of the season, and then he just fell off.
Let's see. Again, I think there are ways this can happen, both good and bad. The college football playoff, right? So Drew Allar, last year in the college football playoff, he looks really bad against Notre Dame. He ends up going back, does not go in the draft. A lot of people thought he could have went to the draft. He didn't. So sometimes your performance, good or bad, can determine what's going to happen here. If someone goes hot, I think Mendoza's 100%. Apparently, he has a little bit more eligibility left that I was unaware of, but I think he's 100% coming out. But there's other guys, depending on what happens, could change the moxie there.
Yeah. I just want to jump on real quick, just to,
Hef, let me ask you before you run off. Hef,
sure.
If you're Joe Burrow and you want to be happy playing football, do you want to become a Jet? Or do you want to become a Minnesota Viking?
No, I think you want to become a Jet. And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because he's got the name for it, Joe.
Yep.
Right? He's going to come to New York City.
And
I think he would embrace that totally. Besides that, he'll have the best offensive line he ever had since he's got
Ain't that the truth?
So, I don't know. I think he would really consider it.
Hey, does anybody know if Joe Burrow is married?
I think he's a single bachelor, I do believe.
Oh, boy, there you go.
Well, that helps too, because I think it was in the Netflix
just has to say, hey, you and I are going out every night on the town.
Yeah. We'll get him
Jersey City is a lot of fun at night.
Yeah, we'll get him the mink coat, and then he'll be ready to go,
Yeah, I guess he's been, I just Googled, does Joe Burrow have a girlfriend? He's been dating some supermodels and influencers, but it doesn't sound like that's a long-term thing. So
influencers, huh?
Yeah, there you go. Man, there's plenty of those in New York, Joe Burrow.
Yeah, that's right.
There you go.
Thanks, guys.
How many do you want?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. Whoa, rate it in there, buddy.
Joe was busy every night, and it wasn't with an influencer. He was out with Raquel and Streisand and all the hot ones.
Okay, there you go.
And Sonny Werblin made sure that his picture with them was in the paper the next morning every day.
No, there you go. Beautiful. All right, we have a super chat coming through. Let me see. This one is from MB34012. Appreciate the $2 super chat.
Wow.
And this is, I cut off so earlier, right at the beginning of the show, we heard from Dan Orlovsky. He's on the unsportsmanlike ESPN radio show. And then after Dan gives his whole piece, the other host of the show speaks. And he basically says what MB 34012 said. Get Joe and figure out the rest. He said if it was up to him, this other radio host, I apologize, I don't know his name. He said that he would call up the Chiefs, and he said this forever, and offer every pick that he possibly could for Patrick Mahomes to the Chiefs and just figure out the rest, basically. Like, once you get the quarterback, great. Right. We'll figure everything out a different way. And that was his take. And I agree. I think that's a little bit aggressive, but in an overall sense, you get the quarterback you figure out, because a good quarterback, a great quarterback, can mask other holes on the roster. And if you look at the Jets, I know the offensive line is coming off a really bad game against the Dolphins. So they had a bad game. And also they're playing with an undrafted free agent who I don't think has a lot of the subtleties and the nuance of an NFL quarterback that could slide a little to the left, slide a little right to help out his offensive line and things of that nature. And also, he had no idea what he was doing. His deer in headlights out there. But if you have a really good quarterback and you have a good offensive line and Garrett Wilson and then whatever's going to happen with Breece Hall, there's enough pieces there where offensively you can figure it out. And defensively, I know the bar's not very high, Bob, but we're better than the Bengals. So his defense would immediately improve and comes over here on offense.
Before we go to the next call, how many years does Burrow have left on his contract?
Yeah, let's take a gander on that real quick. He just signed it, so I'd imagine there's still multiple years. Yeah, so he signed a 5-year deal in September of 23. So what are we, 23, 24, 25? Oh, so 2 years left, I guess, if that math is correct. Yeah. Let me make sure I confirm that, because it could have been an extension on his rookie deal. So let me look up the math here. He's under contract through the 2030 season, it looks like. 2030.
Wow, that's not 2 years.
So even longer. Yeah, so it's let me clarify. It was a 5-year extension on his rookie deal. Yeah, so that added more years. So yes.
Okay. Well, we just have to, as I said to John Schmidt about Namath, thank you for keeping him upright. You got to keep Joe, Joe Burrow upright and as injury free as you possibly can. So,
of course. So
that and every night in Jersey City.
Yeah, that too. By the way, MB, you are $1 away from raffle ticket. You can just do that at any point throughout the rest of December. So make sure you take full advantage of that. Thank you. Let me make sure we didn't miss any other super chats coming through. We got a member shout out.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
But by the way, the quarterback can't mask everything. And if you don't want to, if you want to dispute that, take a look at Kansas City this year with probably the best quarterback in the NFL. It ain't happening.
Well, it did work all those other years, though, with him.
Well, right? It did, but he's got a lot more to mask this year.
I guess,
and he lost his left tackle on the first play of the game.
Oh my God! Week. And they had already lost 2 or 3 of their other offensive linemen. So yeah, a bit of a disaster there for sure. Bad Shaw with a super chat shout out.
Wow.
Shaw, thank you for being a member for 17 months. Prayers for Johnny Boy, 100%. Again, Johnny Boy, for those who are just joining us here on the program, a dedicated member of the Boy Green Coffee Club, a wonderful family man, and I had the pleasure of meeting him at our tailgate, not this past year, the previous year, and I've worked closely with Johnny Boy and Snowball, and again, our prayers are up for Johnny Boy. He's in the hospital right now, so please continue to send your prayers, and when updates that I'm allowed to share are available, I will continue to share them here on the show. So, Batshot, thank you. Your thoughts and prayers and everything in between are well placed. So thank you. We have a lot of callers, so I'll get to all you guys. So guys, just be patient. I'll get to each of you that I can. Up next, it's Hop on Pop.
Hey now. Good morning, Coffee Club. Good morning,
Good morning, Pop. Yeah.
Good morning.
I know you got a lot of callers.
My condolences to you for the Dallas Cowboys season as it winds down.
Oh,
well, it's not winding down. It's not checked out as it was for the Jets. But
it's in critical condition from everything I can see.
Yes. Well, they're not eliminated, so we can move.
But you got a defensive tackle you can count on for next year.
We got plenty of pieces, that's for sure. So just two things, and then you get a lot of callers. That's a big no on Joe Burrow. Big no.
Really? Why? Injuries?
Yeah. There's injuries. He's in a world right now where he just signed a contract, and he's stating misgivings about even playing. And then you look at it right now. He's a millennial, right? So he's gotten everything that he's wanted. He pushed and pushed to sign the top number 1 and number 11 highest paid wide receivers in the league, and now they don't have the money for the rest. So the check that he has to pay for getting the number 1 and number 11 highest paid receivers is he doesn't have anybody else. They have one of the best defensive players in the league on the Bengals, and they still suck. So I've said it before, I'll say it again. The Jets don't need a superstar quarterback. They need a competent quarterback. And
so someone who I have described, might be the prototype that Fernando is.
Yeah, and that actually segues well. So I'm a hard pass against Joe Burrow, whatever the cost. I mean, if it was cheap, sure, but he's not going to be cheap, so I'm against it.
I don't think he'd come to New York.
I don't either, but I don't think we should want him. The second thing is Mendoza. Let me read you some stats. You ready for some stats real quick, everybody?
Sure.
Let me read you some amazing statistics about a quarterback that in his senior year threw for 3,692 yards, had 33 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, had a rating of 196.4, right? That sounds pretty good, right? I'll read you the stats of another quarterback, which are similar. Not quite 3,000 yards, 33 touchdowns with 6 interceptions, and a rating of 181.4. The first one was Zach Wilson. The second one was Mendoza, your little song guy.
Yeah.
Let's check reality. Mendoza left the Cal Bears, and they got better. They had more wins this year after he left than they had when he was playing for them. His win total for his 2 starting seasons as the Cal quarterback were 6 wins apiece, and he lost both pathetic bowl games that he went to. So I would just share that, yeah, he may be a competent quarterback, but buyer beware. Buyer beware. That's what I'll share with you. He went from I'll finish, and then you can say whatever you'd like. He went from a mediocre football team where he got mediocre results to a team that was in the college football playoffs last year. He walked into a better team, and wow, he accomplished what they accomplished last year. That's not saying that much. So I would pump the brakes. I'm not saying the Jets shouldn't draft him. I'm not saying we shouldn't consider it, but I wouldn't pay too much for it. And look at the history. He's not walking on water anytime soon unless someone split the Red Sea for him.
No, I don't think he's a super franchise quarterback. I think he could be, like Jared Goff, a guy that basically runs the offense, has a good, strong running game and a strong offensive line, and can make the throws that need to be made.
Before we go any further, this is just the thing I just want to get, because Pop brought up, and I knew the second one was Mendoza because I just know his stats off the top of my head. So I knew the first quarterback was somebody else. You said, here's Zach Wilson numbers from college, and here's Fernando Mendoza's numbers from college. Now, the criticism of Zach Wilson was that his final season at BYU was a cupcake schedule. And I pulled it up because I wanted to confirm that, because Mel Kiper kept saying everyone's going to get a sugar high off that cupcake schedule that Zach Wilson had in his final collegiate season. And I see that there were 2 top 25 teams that Zach Wilson played in his final season at BYU. It was number 21 ranked Boise State at the time that they played them. That was number 21 ranked. And then the other team was Coastal Carolina, who was number 18. Those are the opponents that Zach Wilson faced.
He had a terrible game against Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, there you go. And then we go to Indiana's season so far. They've beaten number 9 Illinois, number 3 Oregon, number 1 Ohio State with the college football left to play. So his level of competition is much higher, and he performed better in those games in the clutch when he had to. So, I don't think any of those could be that. The fact that Zach Wilson put up these video game numbers on a cupcake schedule adds even more to the legacy of one Fernando Mendoza for what he was able to do with his schedule.
Denied. Yeah. So I was talking about one season compared to one season. Their entire college career is almost identical. That's really the point of the conversation.
The scouts are not looking at who you beat. They're looking at all the.
Oh, they're looking at who you beat. 100%. Then why does the college football playoff matter?
I watched the only game.
Why does the college football playoff matter then? If it doesn't matter who they beat, then all these games he's about to play, all these incredibly tough opponents, that doesn't matter. Then why are we even waiting to evaluate?
When I saw Zach Wilson play all of one game in his college career, and that was the bowl game that he played in against. I forget who it was. Was it? It was an awful team, Florida Atlantic or something. I don't know.
Right.
And I just watched the game, and he was running all over the field and making passes and whatever. And I looked at it and I said,
UCF was the team. UCF.
He's playing the kids down the street. I don't see anything. And then they had him with his pro day, and he threw the ball 85 yards in the air.
Yeah,
great. That didn't tell me anything either.
Yeah, and Mendoza walked onto an elite team already. Yeah. He walked into an elite situation, a unique situation. My point is, he's not the end all be all. I took Zach Wilson as an example.
He's
right?
not. He's
and
not.
I wouldn't overpay.
He's not either of the Manning brothers. He's not Andrew Luck. He's not. He's not Trevor Lawrence. He's not any of those guys. But Jared Goff, wasn't he the first pick in the draft?
He was. Yeah.
Yeah, he may have been.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to don't overspend for Mendoza. That was really the point. I'm not saying.
No, I agree. I agree.
I definitely don't
crazy.
Go after Joe Burrow.
But I think they're going to be bad enough. I think they'll be, hopefully, like in a third or a fourth draft spot, so that if they trade up, they won't have to give up the store in order to get to the first spot.
And that'd be fair enough. Andrew Luck has signs of Andrew Luck. That's right. It's Joe Burrow has signs of Andrew Luck and Barry Sanders, who signed a contract just before he walked away from the Lions. So I would be very concerned with overpaying, and he could walk away at any moment just by the way he talks. So I know you got a lot of
real quick, is the last one is here, is that you said you wouldn't, the warning is basically don't overpay for Mendoza. So you may not even have an answer to what I'm going to say because we don't even know where the Jets are going to pay. But what is overpaying in your mind for Mendoza? You wouldn't be willing to do what? Straight up.
I would be willing to use your cool draft calculator website that you use where you add up the points. So if that's an acceptable, I'm not a draft guru, but if that's an acceptable kind of thing that the NFL teams at least use as a benchmark, okay, is this a stupid trade? Oh yes, it's a stupid trade. So if the numbers add up comparable, then I think it is appropriate for them to trade for him if they have evaluated his talent.
I saw the other day that if the Jets finish 6th or 7th on the draft list, that they would need, in order points-wise, in order to make it work, they'd have to give up both of their picks this year and a second-round pick, and that would hit the magic number.
And just on that, I would look at the body. I don't look at any trade that Dallas did with the Jets. I look at it as a body of work from when they traded Micah Parsons till all the dust settles. So the Quentin Williams was a subset of the Micah Parsons trade. It was all one thing. So you say, well, you overpaid for Quentin. Well, look at the whole tree, if you will. So for me, the whole tree is the trades the Jets did. That inception this year at the trade deadline, that is the whole tree. And so, yeah, you can look at it this way, that way. If at the end of the day, they traded away their two best defensive players, ended up with a bounty of picks, cleared cap space, were able to get the quarterback they drafted, and still have leftover draft picks. That's a win. You can't look at this in isolation like this is one little piece here. And if it matches up with the numbers by the draft capital calculator, and this is a whole body of work. This Quentin Williams, Sauce Gardner thing is going to echo throughout this offseason and into the next. And at the end of the day, you can't look at one piece of it. You got to stay back and look at the whole picture. So,
and I would just say this, because I know, Pop, you're going to go, is that the Jets actually project the Colts pick and the Jets pick. The Jets are projected, according to the analytics, what they think is going to happen the rest of the season, project to have a top 5 pick. The Colts project to have a top 15 pick. The Jets have obviously both of those picks.
Mhm.
If they traded a top 5 pick and a top 15 pick, that would be enough without any additional draft capital, according to the value chart, to get to number 1 overall. So the Jets may have to do a sweetener because I'm seeing people talk about competitiveness and if multiple teams want him and all this other jazz, and we can figure all that out. But yeah, there is a clear path for the Jets to be able to move up in a somewhat reasonable cost, considering the full tree that is here, where they still have plenty of picks left over.
And again, and that's why I really want not just the Jet fans, but the management of the team to not oversell this guy as the next Namath, because he's not the next Namath. But if he's the next Jared Goff and he directs the offense and makes the critical throws, which we've seen him make in college at the right time and keeps them in games, then you have a guy that's head and shoulders over anybody they've had in 25 years, except maybe for Vinny Testaverde.
Well, Pop, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. We're looking forward to the episode tomorrow.
All right. Thank you. Take that like button to Pound Town. Get your Bob Stocking Stuffer paperback copy of the world's greatest book ever written about the New York Football Jets.
Have you had a chance to leaf through it yet? I know you've had a copy.
I have started.
Good. Okay. Let me know. Seriously, let me know, because I respect your insights on things.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Pop. Appreciate it. But this is the one thing I would push back on, Bob, because you were like, oh, man, he's not the next Joe Namath. Is he the next Jared Goff? Here's the thing, Bob. He's the first him. I don't need the second version of Jared Goff.
What's the limitation on licensing that you're allowed to do, like 5 seconds or something?
Actually, not even that. The YouTube gods. So I've explained this before, but for folks who don't hear it. So for those who are watching live, we have all these callers who are going to get you on the show. You guys are all obviously hearing the song. YouTube, very shortly after the show is over, I'll give a shout out. The audio only listeners get the song played. But if anyone says, oh, man, I didn't watch that Boy Green Daily show this morning, let me rewatch it at 4 o'clock or something. When they go to listen to it, it's like a muffled, they've erased it from the universe. So YouTube
but you are able to show apparently like 5 seconds worth.
No, I'm able to show technically the full clip that I have is 46 seconds worth. So I could show all of it. But again, the YouTube overlords immediately.
When you showed it the first time on Monday morning, I have to tell you, it was like having 10 cups of this with the caffeine. Wow. It did give me a jolt.
Yeah. How could it not?
I could not stop smiling.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, I have no rights to play it ever or at all. The good news is I'm not going to get tackled, right? Like there's not some minivan outside my house that's about to drag me out.
They couldn't find us. We go, even if you showed them a map.
Yeah, I hope not. So, for all the people that enjoy the show live or the audio-only version, you guys get to hear that song. The people that rewatch it at 3 o'clock probably have no idea that I've ever played it, because when I play it, they hear nothing. They just see basically a silent highlight reel, which is sort of weird. But, so is the love. So, there you go, people. Appreciate it. I'm sure we'll randomly play that a few more times.
Yeah, I do have one request I should have brought up earlier.
Okay. Oh, all right.
If there's anybody out there that has any kind of connection at all with NFL films, I would like them to be in touch with me. rflbob@gmail.com.
Okay, I wonder.
rflbob@gmail.com, because I've been trying to talk to them about segments of my book and things that the NFL has never shown about Super Bowl III, which, they've made several highlight films already. But I've been trying to get hold of somebody there and not having any success. But anyway, on to our calls.
Okay, here we go. Up next, Easy.
Good morning, Easy.
Hey. Good morning, Bob. Hey, remember what we do, our new little segment. The Yiddish word of the day is Meshuggah.
Meshuggah. Oh, yeah.
Wow. What is that one? I've never heard that.
I was going to explain that.
We hope that's Mike Brown.
Okay. So
explain to the world what Meshuggah means.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Easy.
You explain it, Bob. Bob's going to explain that one.
Oh, okay. Bob will explain it. Okay.
Meshuggah is somebody who's nuts.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes we shorten it. We'll say he's completely Meshuggah.
He's Meshuggah, yeah.
Meshuggah.
There's a heavy metal band with a bunch of Jewish guys in it named Meshuggah. They were really heavy, like scream, like, ugh, one of them kind of death metal sounding bands. They called Meshuggah.
Okay. And what's the full word again? One more time, EC? It's what?
Meshuggah.
Meshuggah.
Want me to spell it to you? Paul?
Right.
Yeah, so, can you? Yep.
And the reason that's the word of the day is Joe Burrow's coming to the New York Jets is completely Meshuggah. I'll tell you why. Okay. I'll tell you why. Number one.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. The only way he would come here.
Yeah.
Only way he'd come here is if we could get Tyler Linderbaum a center.
We could do that. We can make that happen. Joe, is that a request? Done.
Because we have to solidify that line for him. Otherwise, he's getting beat up in Cincy. Why would he come here and get beat up in New York? Plus the fact that since our defense is so lousy, he's going to have to put up 30 points a game just for a draw.
Easy. I'm going to be honest because you bring this unpredictability to the show that when you started to say there's only one way that Joe Burrow would come here, I thought you were going to say if we kidnap him in a van in Ohio and drive him over here. So I thought that's what you were going to say.
Too.
So, I mean, that would be another effective strategy.
Or drugs. Heavy.
If I was Joe Burrow,
okay,
I'll tell you where I would go.
All right.
I would go to the Rams. Someone mentioned that in the. I want to give credit where credit's due. Yeah. I don't remember who said it in the chat today, but yeah.
That makes sense. The NFC, right? The Bengals could trade him to the other side. That would make sense.
Right.
Be the Matt
Go
Stafford
to the Rams and then Matt Stafford wants to get, one more nice little contract.
Sure.
And Stafford coming to the Jets, that would work. The other thing is there are 4 quarterbacks out there that we could get that hopefully could last for 2 years. And I'm just talking just a 2-year stopgap so we could maybe draft a guy in the second round or trade up to get a 3rd round pick and get a halfway decent quarterback to try to groom and try to find a diamond in the rough. And that would be Mariota, Kyler Murray, Mac Jones, or Kirk Cousins. I'm talking we only need one of these guys. I know, Bob, but we only need one of these guys for 2 fucking years. Just 2 years. And any one of these clowns is better than what we have right now. Any one of them. And then maybe see if we could get Tyler Linderbaum at center. Maybe one other guy, a wide receiver, because our backfield's good. Our backfield's good. Allen's coming back. He'll be back. Oh, shoot. Excuse me. I dropped something. Braylon Allen's coming back. Breece Hall is good. I think we franchise Breece for 1 year, see what he wants. Or we tell him, look, what do you want? Try to work it out with him, and then say, look, we'll if you want, we can franchise you, and then during the season we can work out a long-term deal, like an extension, to make it equal to blah blah blah. To try to work something out with him, because he really is our best back, and he really is the top 10 back in the league. I'm not saying he's the best. He's not, but he's good. The problem with Breece, and I mentioned this before, he is great in open field. He's great.
Sure.
But he tries to like hesitate and look for that hole at the line. If that hole is not imminently there where he can't burst through and get that immediate burst, how many times have you seen him stutter step and get tackled for a 1 yard gain or a 2 yard loss? Mm-hmm. There's too many of them. Now, the thing that makes him dangerous is if you can get him the ball in the open field, he's an absolute terror for a defense, because he's not a super big bruising back, but he's not a little guy. He's on the larger size of backs, and he will try to run through you if, he can run through you. I mean, I'm not saying he's Iron Head Hayward or anything like that, but he can run through you, if he gets a good head of steam up. But he's primarily a guy that needs a hole to run through. So we need to solidify the O-line. We really, really do. As far as AVT, I tell AVT we're going to give you a 1 year. Prove it. Right. Stay healthy. You got to stay healthy for us for 1 year, because he's good. And if we can't get Linderbaum, then we move Tippmann back to center and put AVT back where he belongs. Or if we get Linderbaum, we put AVT back and we Simpson, maybe we see what we could do with Simpson. I don't know. Simpson seems pretty solid, but we need like high quality depth. We need not a first team and a second teamer on the O-line. We need a 1A and a 1B.
So, okay, so you're a no to Joe Burrow. That's not going to happen, again, unless we kidnap him in a van. Where are you at on Fernando? Are you for or against?
Your words.
Oh, yeah, I guess I said that. I tried to put that in. I tried to put those words in your mouth. So we're not getting Joe Burrow, very likely. So, but you are for Fernando or against?
If he falls to us, or we don't have to spend more than 3,000 points in trade to get him. I would go as high as maybe 3,300 points to get a 3,300 points to get a 3,000 point guy. I'm not going to I would overpay maybe 300 points to get him, but that's it. Yeah, I mean, because quarterbacks, you do have to pay a little bit of the tax to get a quarterback in a slim pickings year. But we got so much more that we could fill with the picks we have. Because we got what do we have? 8 first and second rounders in the next 2 years.
Yep.
Right?
We got a lot of assets. Thank you to EZ for that call. That's correct. And yes, by the way, for those to include everyone in on the conversation, the number 1 overall pick in any draft is worth, quote unquote, 3,000 points. It's a draft value chart. So in theory, you got to make up the difference of wherever you pick to where that is. And again, the draft value chart isn't always 100%.
One of the arguments this week, particularly back on Monday after Fernando spoke after the win against Ohio State, was, well, he's a preaching boy. He's a devoted to God and that sort of thing.
That's great. Yeah.
And people started making, can he exist in New York? Can that work and that sort of thing? And not what a bunch of nonsense. I mean,
100%.
Yeah, but the thing about him and about Burrow, that is very essential. You have to be really committed to football, and that may be one of the problems that Burrow is having. Maybe Burrow is so committed to football that it is having an ill effect on the rest of his life.
Oh, that's totally possible.
Especially with the losses and the defense being so inept.
Right, what was it? Last year, it was the year he had this crazy MVP year, but his team sucks, so he didn't win it. But if he would have done that in New York, buddy, you would have won. But it's neither here nor there, I suppose. Anywho, let's go back to the phone lines. It's a Friday, so your Grubhub orders here. It's Philly Noodles, baby.
Philly, you spell Meshuggah wrong.
Of course I did.
That may be the band, but since you asked, Paul, it's Mischuga.
Okay, great. That would have definitely been my 12th guess.
And if you want to put an H at the end, you can do that too.
Do you have to hit it with a?
What you have there is Meshuggah.
Hey, whatever we got is what we got. Because I am not.
Philly, how are you?
Cultured enough for that. I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm all right. Hey, listen, you hit us before with a wow, and it was so similar to Christopher Walken. You were like, wow. I was like, oh shoot, you're doing a Christopher Walken impression. I was like, this is great. Yeah, it was great.
Clay, give me the videotape replay.
Get that playback. He was like, wow. I was like, oh wow. To your point earlier, BG, I love Lamp. I love Lamp.
Mm-hmm.
Do you really love this Lamp, Rick? Or are you just saying that? You're just naming things in the room. I love Lamp. So he loves himself some Mendoza. It's just it is what it is.
Yeah. Come on.
Now I don't know. I'm partial biased on the situation. I thought earlier in the season, you should not overpay and get everything else you could get. But I live in a world where I think at number 1, you could really see the best overall talent go, because I don't care. I don't care what anyone thinks. There's no way the NFL thinks that Mendoza is a number 1 overall draft pick guy. I don't think so. I don't think so. There was certain outliers, like Joe Burrow. They knew at one point of the season that this guy is the surefire number 1 overall pick. He is a guy. Mm-hmm. You're not really getting that, I don't think, with Mendoza. You're getting, wow, this program has really worked for this guy. He's come in, it's changed him. to me, that doesn't. Now that happened with Burrow because he came from Ohio State, but he came from Ohio State, which was producing great talents. Cal is mixture. I don't even know the last California quarterback that came out beside Jared Goff.
Aaron Rodgers.
Well, yeah, that's like 20 years ago.
I pay all due respect to Pop and such, but I'd have to really look at what Cal was for those 2 years and who the coach was. Was it the same coach as now? I don't know. What kind of receivers, what kind of running backs, what kind of offensive line did he have, and that sort of thing. But Philly, is a comparison with Jared Goff in the ballpark.
No, it's not bad. I don't.
He was the first choice in the draft.
What do you mean? Who was? It was him. Yeah, Jared Goff was.
Yeah.
By the way, let's pour another one out.
No.
Let's
that
pour
was like
another one out.
preseason. He was preseason, that guy. Like Mendoza just became a guy randomly. Like these guys were guys.
Jared Goff, I believe, was the first pick in the NFL draft.
He was.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, but he was the guy. Like they knew it. It wasn't like we're not sure.
He's not a superstar. He's not a world beater.
You don't have to be a world beater. That is correct. If that's what we're getting to, if that's what you're alluding to.
That's why I'm saying let's have reasonable expectations about what you're getting. Because you're not getting a guy who can make a throw from every angle anytime. No. He has some maneuverability. In fact, I was surprised. One of the criticisms that the Juan had given us was that he had no flexibility. He couldn't move. He's too slow. He's plotting, whatever. But they ran plays where he took the ball and ran.
Yeah,
he's not a gazelle.
No.
But
that's to his benefit. That's helped him.
Hey,
yeah.
By the way, pour one out. Kyle Bowler, another Cal great. Kyle Bowler, for anyone.
Look at that. There's a bunch of them.
Pull another one out there.
You're bowling me over with that one, Paul.
Yeah, I figured I would. I would.
I mean, listen. Of course, there can be a competitive edge where teams on purpose just drive the Jets to be hungry enough to just go get him at one, right? Like, we're fielding calls from this guy and that guy. And, hey, the Browns called me, man. And you're telling Darren Muji that. It's like, okay, so Darren's desperate. Okay, we'll just give you 3 ones to get up. And that, again, if it hits, it doesn't matter, right, in the end. So as long as, I'll tell you this, if you go up to trade for number 1, I don't care what it takes. I want another quarterback in this draft. I don't even care. If you're shooting at
RG3, Kirk Cousins it.
You better double dip. I don't even care, because if you did that and you had this capital that you're spending, you might as well just take 2. If we say it happened for the Browns, look what happened to the Browns. You know what I mean? Like, did we expect Shedeur to be halfway decent? No, he just pulled out the best 300-yard passing game, ergo Tom Brady in their rookie season. Like, only other time it happened. What was the coincidence? His idol, right? Like, to me, it's like, if you're going to do that, just take another shot too while you're at it, just in case the criticisms come out. You are like, well, we took 2 quarterbacks for a reason. We're not expecting the kid to be a Hall of Famer year 1. You're expecting to have competency. I think you could get from him. I think the grit factor is big. I think the gritty game he played, getting hit all over the field, was in a great moment for the kid. Now, the only thing I will say is in his favor, he loves God just as much as probably Justin Fields, but I doubt he's going to be in a closet crying at some point. I'm sorry, that guy doesn't give me that vibe.
Well, that's good. That's good. We definitely don't want that vibe. And Bob said, we have to make sure we get fair expectations for like a Fernando for what he can do. And my fair expectations is I just want 10 Super Bowls. And as long as he's able to deliver that and be a 10-time NFL MVP, I am perfectly satisfied.
To show you the value, and we're seeing it right now, of a competent quarterback.
Sure.
The tight end on Atlanta.
Kyle Pitts, baby. Thank you for my fantasy team. Yeah.
Let me finish my thought, Paul. The tight end on Atlanta for the first 3 years was considered really a bust.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Kirk Cousins comes in relief the end of this season. Yes. And look at what Pitts has been doing since they put a competent quarterback in there.
Yep. That was Penix's knock, is that he's been injured quite a bit in college. Yeah. And they were like, all right, honestly, I like you saying that, because I said during the season, if shit was going wrong with Fields, which obviously did, I would trade him this offseason with that contract to Atlanta That's his hometown. I would take a bag of peanuts. Let me get a 7th rounder. I don't even care.
I would do
If
that.
I'm gonna be stuck with this money, hey, if you guys are gonna let go of Kirk, maybe they don't. But
I've
you know,
said it before and I'll say it again. I think it's Baltimore.
oh, he
Hey,
goes to Baltimore? That's interesting.
I don't give a blank where he goes.
Yeah,
We can
I
trade him
know.
anywhere for
I get-
anything. I'm in.
Hey, we traded a lot of our 6, so we have a bunch of 7s. So let's get another 7.
Sure.
And real quick, I think Burrow to Minnesota would be the play there because JJ
Justin
as the
Jefferson.
bargaining chip is no. JJ McCarthy is the bargaining chip.
I
yeah, because you're getting a quarterback that has some elite capabilities. They'll say, like ergo getting rid of Zach Wilson earlier than keeping him. You know what I mean? That type of deal.
But will a Michigan guy be a good fit in Ohio?
I don't care what he thinks he could be. If they're going to trade him, he's going to get traded.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, he's they put a lot of hopes and prayers in him and expectations, and I had my doubts just because he's a rookie.
Yeah, we should probably put any topic of Michigan football in the back burner for now. Things are a little hot right now in that realm. So
you can get yourself a Michigan fan if he's on the line. Go get yourself some Indy Jets if he's there.
There you go. Okay, Uncle Indy.
All right.
Beautiful.
All right, guys.
Philly Noodles, you're the best, baby. Thank you
Have a
very
good
much.
weekend, Philly.
Yeah, there you go. And he mentioned it. You mentioned it. This guy's been brought up several times on the show. From what I'm being told in my ear, this guy's the #1 Jacksonville Jaguars fan in the universe. Now, I'm not sure how many other people he would be competing against with said title, but nonetheless, let's bring him in. Alon joins here on the show.
Good morning, Alon. One thing today. Let's hear one thing that's positive. Just one thing. No. And then you can unload on everything else you want.
No.
He declined.
Good morning, Paul, and Boker Tov, Bob. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, and I hope you have a good Shabbos.
I do.
Now we've used 2 Yiddish terms today for Paul to learn.
Yeah, those are.
First of all, Bob, I love the shots you take at me against Iowa. It's pretty funny. I like that. Remember, Iowa actually.
What was your new nickname? Giggles?
I don't even.
I was going to refer to you as Giggles today. I thought it was.
Trust me, many nicknames, and none of them are positive.
Yeah, there was Neil. Neil dropped that nickname on there. Yeah,
thank you, Neil.
Here is the fact of the day before I talk about Mendoza.
Okay.
So Joe Burrow has an affinity towards Olivia's. He's currently dating Olivia Pontone, who's a social media manager or personality.
All right.
After he was in a 7-year relationship with Olivia Holzmacher, who was his college sweetheart.
Okay.
His next girlfriend after she dumps Paul Skeens will be Olivia Dunn. Okay.
Okay.
They both went to LSU.
Okay.
And she's always said that she has the hots for Joe Burrow. That's the fact of the day. Thank you.
Good for Joe Burrow. Wow. He is doing well.
So let me talk about the Iowa game for a second, because not many people watched it because it was a Peacock game.
Yeah.
So I don't even know how many people actually have Peacock who watch football. The reason why that's an important game, and I wish many more people got to watch it, was the way Iowa's defense disguised exotic blitzes against Mendoza. And one thing about Mendoza that I find alarming is his lack of athleticism going from east to west. And what Iowa did so well in that game is they attacked him all sides. They attacked him up the middle, and they attacked him with their safeties both towards the left and the right side of the line. And that is another reason why I think this is just crazy, why people think that he is this franchise quarterback. Honestly, I think Kurt Cignetti has made Fernando Mendoza more so than Fernando Mendoza has made Kurt Cignetti.
Hey, quick question on the Iowa game. Maybe it's multiple things, which you can choose option C if you prefer. Mendoza's struggling against these exotic blitzes that you highlight. Is that an inability of Mendoza? Oh boy, red flag. Or is it a tip of the cap to Iowa, right? Like, another team is playing on the other side. Like,
I think it was a little bit of both. I think they capitalized on a quarterback that struggles against speed rushers from the outside. Trust me, he can make the throw. He can make a lot of the throws, And whether it's the Iowa game, whether it's the Penn State game, whether it's the Ohio State game, whether it's the Oregon game, there were moments, or there were quarters where he just was not that good. And I know he's getting a lot of the buzz because of his fourth quarter magic, but I'm not trading multiple assets to move up for a guy that performs just well in the fourth quarter. You have to play all four quarters. And I just don't see him being that guy. Going back to my point with Cignetti and Mendoza, you could drop any quarterback onto that Indiana team right now, any top tier quarterback, and they'd perform as well or even better than Mendoza.
I don't know about that.
He is in such a what?
I don't agree with you. I'm not even saying that on the basis that Mendoza is the be all end all. You couldn't just put anybody out there.
If you watch that offense, the way that offense is set up,
it's a run heavy offense.
It's a run heavy offense with 3 NFL wide receivers, with a top tier offensive line, with a legit defense. Okay. He's a great piece in that offense. Do I think he'd carry teams if he was out of that offense? Absolutely not. Okay. The Jets have 5 1s and 3 2s in the next 2 years. Okay.
Correct. Yes.
Here's my issue. Okay. I believe a regime has one chance to draft a quarterback in the first round. I don't believe in the Arizona Cardinal method that you draft quarterbacks back-to-back years in the first round.
Bizarre.
It just does not fly with me, okay? If he fails in the first round, I don't think this regime should be given the opportunity to draft the first rounder next year, okay? To me, if you have an opportunity to get a quarterback, a franchise quarterback, you better be right. And the problem with Mendoza is there's hesitation to consider him a franchise quarterback. I see him as Kirk Cousins. That's his ceiling. I think Kirk Cousins is a nice quarterback. I don't think Kirk Cousins is that true franchise quarterback you trade multiple 1s and 2s to go get. Okay. That's why I look at 2027, where you have the 3 number 1s and you have the ability to just completely maneuver up and down the draft. That's where you pounce on your quarterback. Okay. You had mentioned, Bob, the 6th pick to trade up to number 1, and it would cost 2 1s and a 2. If Mendoza is the only quarterback in this draft, and I'm not including Ty Simpson because he's a bum. Okay. I have no interest in him.
Wow,
and I truly believe Moore is going to go back to school. Okay. And even if Moore came out, Moore is 20 years old. Moore shouldn't see the field for at least a year. Okay. So let's say Mendoza is the only game in town, and and the Titans sit at the number 1 pick. They are going to try to fleece the Jets. Okay.
They should try.
There'll be multiple. What'd you say?
Yeah, but trying to fleece the Jets and being able to fleece the Jets.
Yes, I agree. Yes.
But I think they would ask for more than that. And most importantly, they will ask for a quarterback. They will ask for a pick in the 2027 draft. And to me, none of those picks should ever be relinquished in any trades. None.
But isn't there a difference, right? Just sort of to what Bob just said, and that's immediately my thought. If I'm the Tennessee Titans, I'm asking for 5 first round. I'm asking for everything the Jets have. Yeah. The Jets then say no, and then we start negotiating back and forth. Yeah. I think the difference between what they ask and what they get are different.
I think a 6 to a 1. We're talking about a 6. If we're at 6,
yes, yep.
And Mendoza's the only quarterback on the board.
Yeah.
Let's say Moore's not coming out and Simpson is just Simpson.
Sure.
That trade would be at least 3 1s.
I disagree.
Who
beats this offer? So again, I'm just going to go with projections because right now the Jets pick 7 and the Colts pick 18. But I don't think that's what it's going to be. The projections say, the ESPN analytics, where they think the pick's going to be is Colts is top 15. Let's call it 15, and Jets are top 5. They think the Jets are picking 4. If that is true, and the Jets have the 4th overall pick and the 15th overall pick, according to the projections, those two enough, according to all the values of points, would be enough to get to number 1. But again, we can't always say that the trade value chart is exactly what it's going to be. But I put 4 and 15 on the table. Who's beating 4 and 15? Who? because the Browns, who have 2 first-round picks, the Jaguars in the playoffs. So that's going to be in the 20s. So their combo of picks isn't going to beat them.
And
Who's
the
going
only
to beat
team
the offer
really,
of 4 to
that's
15?
really going to need a quarterback is Vegas.
Well, I think there might be more than that.
I think the Browns would take a quarterback.
We'll see. I still think that's up in the air. But I'll ask you, Alon, who beats if the Jets have 4 and 15 on table? Who beats 4 and 15?
I think the Raiders, if they would have the 2nd pick in the draft, okay, or the 3rd pick in the draft, would beat them. I do.
How? What's their other pick?
I think they would trade multiple ones.
Okay, but so what's more valuable?
And they would trade a 2027 first.
Sure. But what's more valuable? A mysterious 2027 first, which you have no idea where it is. You think the Raiders stink as an organization, so you probably hope that's high. But 4 and 15 right now, or 2 and something in 2027.
I would rather have the Raiders 2027 first than the Jets 2nd first in 2026.
Okay.
I guess that'll be okay. Based on the draft. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I like Mendoza. I think he's a good quarterback. I look at his ceiling being between 13 and 17 in the league. I think he could be a mid-tier quarterback.
Okay? So do you see him? I keep saying Jared Goff. Is that Jared Goff?
That's high to me. I think he's more Cousins. I do.
And Cousins looked great last night.
I think Cousins is a fine quarterback. I'm not trading 2 1s and a 2 for a team that's 3 and 10 with holes everywhere.
Guys, we just have breaking news in the NFL for the Jets. Wait 1 second here. Wait a second. The Jets have signed starting center Josh Myers to a 2-year, $12 million contract extension that ties him to the Jets to the 2027 season. Jets have 4 of their 5 starting offensive linemen under contract for next year, even though that could be backup money too. So there you go. Just coming in from Adam Schefter, the Jets have signed to a 2-year, $12 million deal. There you go.
Yuck. That's too much money for that guy. Just my opinion. I think he's a mid-tier backup offensive lineman.
But he's a reliable backup.
Yeah, but you're not. I don't.
Yeah, he's not going to embarrass you when you bring him in the game like a lot of the other, second-year backups that they've got, who they've tried in virtually every position and have been really found to be not up to snuff.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about him if he's the starting center next year, and I don't think this contract. I don't think this contract says he will be. But this is a guy who had 56 games in Green Bay on playoff teams as a starter. He, basically, from the moment he came out of the womb of the Packers draft, he was their full-time starter outside of when he got hurt. Like, to have that as your 6th offensive lineman, I don't think that's bad at all.
Yeah,
and occasional spots where
we don't know, and the Jets don't know what the plan is yet. They may have their eye on a center in college that they think could blossom and become a starter next year. But if not, you have Myers behind him, basically strengthening the total offensive line.
And one final comment.
I think this is another. Yeah, real quick, I just want to say this. Alana, I think it's another feather in the cap of Mucci. That's very proactive to just get this done and make sure you have it with all of these questions of before. Now Myers is signed, but you had Myers, you had Simpson, you had AVT. That's a lot up in the air. To be able to say, hey, Myers is comfortable with us, we're comfortable with him. Let's just get him under contract. It gives us optionality.
Mucci is the MVP of the organization this year.
To me, that's an overpay. That's just my opinion.
Really? Okay.
I don't think he's good at all. Okay.
Wow.
People continue to
hold on a second. BG, how much of that is
that's the question.
That has not been reported yet. This just came out seconds ago.
I'd say it's 2 years, 12 million, maybe 8 million guaranteed.
Yeah. Okay, my guess is shorter, so we're just playing the guessing game. My guess like 4.5 million guaranteed, but we'll see what happens.
No, I think the first year would guarantee.
All right.
Okay.
So one final comment about the center position. People continue to talk about my favorite center in Linderbaum. He's going to get 20 million plus. Okay. Again, it's supply and demand. Okay.
I guess. Yeah.
Baltimore just gave Travis Jones 3 years, $40.8 million last night.
Yes.
So I don't think they're going to be the ones paying him 20 million. And if you look at the Jets, they have 2 tackles in the next 2 to 3 years. They're going to have to pay. I just don't see them paying a center $20 million along with 2 tackles who are going to be making upwards of $20 to $30 million a year. I would rather go in the draft, maybe get Linderbaum's understudy and my boy Logan Jones in round 2 or 3 and put him as center. again, the Jets need a new starting center next year. I don't care what this contract with Myers is. Myers should not be seeing the field as a starting center. He's a bottom, and I mean bottom tier center in the sport. But again, bottom line with Mendoza.
I don't think Paul or I disagree with you that he's not going to the Pro Bowl anytime soon.
Bottom line is with Mendoza, I would not trade any assets.
Myers is more than an adequate center for the Jets, and you've seen it this year. They still have had a pretty good offensive line play for most of the games this year.
Bob, he can't snap.
He is terrible at that.
Okay.
Well, how important? How important is that for a center anyway? How important is that?
But Tippmann wasn't a world beater at that either.
Yeah. It's not the contract I would have given him, but that's okay.
Okay.
But bottom line with Mendoza, okay, I want to see him play against quality defenses in the playoffs, whether it's Oklahoma or following maybe a rematch with Oregon or against Texas Tech. I worry about his athleticism on the next level, and that's why I would not trade multiple assets.
I really want to see them play Ohio State again, because I want to see what kind of changes Ohio State makes, to take away what he does best.
I would like to see him against Texas Tech. To me, it's a defense that's extremely aggressive, both on the front level and at the linebacker position. Again, I like Mendoza. I'm not trading multiple assets.
But you might come back and tell us that he looked good because of Cignetti.
Again, I think Cignetti is the reason why Mendoza's become
Cignetti, right, is the hottest property in college football.
He has done the greatest coaching job in college football in years. And
if he wasn't on the elder side, I think he's 66. This 64. Guy would be an NFL coach. People would be knocking the doors down.
I think he will dabble in the NFL in 3 years.
Really?
Just interesting.
Mark
when he's 70. When he's 70 years old,
64 years old. Okay, I think he will take the challenge in 3 years to go to the NFL at 67. I do. I don't think he will finish out.
His big challenge will be next year when he has to come back. Without Mendoza.
They're getting Sam Levitt will be their next quarterback.
Where is he?
He's at Arizona State. He's going to transfer to Indiana. Okay. That's what's been talked about.
There we go.
And Sam Levitt is a first-round pick.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, gentlemen.
Thank you. There he is, Alon, joining us here on the program. There's no one better to follow up that than Neil Sr.
Alan put me to sleep.
Oh, well, he's probably not the first one where that's happened.
You weren't impressed by giggles.
But Paul, I wanted you to ask him if he's still there.
He is not, unfortunately. He dropped out.
I want to know what he's willing to give up to get Joe Burrow. I'm interested to hear.
Yeah, maybe he'll comment in. I'm not sure. Yeah.
What
he said earlier.
What are you willing to give up, Neil?
I would give up anything for Joe Burrow.
There you go.
Okay, let me just say this to you, Bob. And how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
All right, I'm good.
No cigar this morning, huh? Ah, there it is.
What did you say? I just had a little lox and cream, bagel, lox, onion, tomato.
Beautiful.
Started off with the breakfast of champions.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Nice.
No doubt.
This Joe Burrow stuff, I mean, it's pie in the sky, but
probably,
yeah.
Because I don't know if he really wants. I mean, God, you want to come to the, he wants to leave the Bengals, and that's coming to the Jets is like out of the pot into the fire almost. But
right.
But what are his choices? What were the three teams that the guy
Orlovsky said? Yeah, so he said Pittsburgh, they're out. They're not trading him inside the division. And then the Raiders were the other one. And the Raiders are a dumpster fire. Outside of Tom
really
Brady.
Only choices for him to go are the Jets, Raiders, and who else?
No,
well, I mean, it was his opinion, but yes, he said those are the three teams that should go.
There's nothing concrete about any of this. But here in Chi-Town, they immediately, the rumor mill started last night, Minnesota. And, the reference earlier today here on the show was L.A.
Yeah, Minnesota would be that was the one that popped in my mind first. But look, he's got the right name, right? Joe, Broadway Joe. We could bring back Broadway Joe. That would be amazing. And I love him, man. I got to tell you something. Look, here's what it comes down to, guys. You can't win without a quarterback. Okay? Yep. Period.
Yep.
So if we find out Mendoza's the guy and he looks really good and he ends up being the best quarterback, we have to do everything in our power to get him and see if he's the guy for the future. I mean, it's just, everybody pontificating about who you want to give up. Don't give up too much draft capital. Don't this, don't that. Look, without a quarterback, look what the Bengals are without Joe Burrow and how many wins they get and what they get with Joe Burrow, right? Took them to a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. The Bengals.
And he was getting clobbered on every play.
Oh, my God.
Super Bowl.
I mean, he is, he look, and, he is a top 5 quarterback in this league. Is that disputable?
Yeah.
No.
All right.
That's not disputable.
If you get a chance as an organization to get the top 5 quarterback in football that's 30 years old, you do everything possible. If I'm Woody Johnson, I immediately put a statue in MetLife before he even walks in the door. I give him the key to the city. I take every draft pick we have, whatever it takes. I would be wooing him. I'd be having conversations with him, etc. Okay. That being said, we have to get a quarterback, and we have to do it this year. Alonke's talking about 27. Look, that's, we don't know what the hell's going to happen in 27. We don't know. Look, if we end up winning 5 or 6 games next year, guys, I don't think Aaron Glenn's going to be around to pick the next quarterback.
Wow, there you go.
You can't go back-to-back horrible seasons and then say, well, Woody, I think we're going to be really good in 27, because anybody getting 27, you have to deal with the same thing over and over again.
I just don't know how Woody Johnson is going to convince Joe Burrow that he should come to New York. It's ludicrous.
Well, hey, listen, it was ludicrous to get Aaron Rodgers. That was a big
That's
get.
true, 100%.
Nobody thought we were getting Aaron Rodgers.
No one thought.
Aaron, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is a correct comparison. Aaron Rodgers was at the end of his career.
Yes.
I think he saw a chance to get a couple of new last paydays. He played them like a fiddle. They marched everybody out to California to get on their knees and beg him and everything else. Joe Burrow wants to go someplace where he can win. And that's the problem. Now, if you had somebody like a Sonny Werblin in that organization that could really put out, incredibly dynamic ideas about what coming to New York could do for Joe Burrow, and a commitment that he was going to do everything he could, and he was willing to open up, the wallet and go as high and as far as he had to go. That'd be another thing. But even with that, you'd have to give up so much to get him. And I don't disagree with you that you pay what you have to do to get him. But in doing so, you are immediately taking down your capability, to build a team around him, except on the offense. You'd have to get another receiver, to basically make it work for him. But then you got the same Cincinnati type defense, unless you get a defensive coordinator that can just.
Yeah, but Bob, when you look at it, we'd have to give up a ton of draft capital. That's fine. Okay.
Yep.
We have $120 million in
money. Yeah.
Money. So, we're going to use that money to plug up the defensive holes.
Like New England did.
Yeah. If we use all that money to plug up the defense, we have the offensive line. He makes receivers better. I mean, Garrett would have a field day. He would take it, Taylor would take advantage of it. We got a good number 3 maybe, and we get a number 2 or something, and, we'll figure that part out. We'll cross that road when we get to it. At the end of the day, whatever they did for Aaron Rodgers, they got to do more to get Burrow. And if I'm Woody Johnson, Bob, I'm at the end of my rope. He's 80 plus years old. If he wants to ever see a winner with the Jets and us ever go to a Super Bowl, Joe Burrow is the best option for us to do that.
But Woody Johnson is not a creative guy. He's not a psychologist who knows how to relate to anybody except another billionaire. This is not a guy that's, really, maybe Glenn can do it with Muji. I mean, Glenn is probably the best motivational guy that they've got, and maybe he can sell them on the concept. That's what it's going to take because, again, they have more draft capital than anybody else, and Cincinnati will know that, and Cincinnati will say, well, like what's going on right now, supposedly, with the Dodgers, okay? Supposedly, they've made a deal with Detroit to get the best pitcher in baseball, and they've got 72 hours to sign him to a long-term contract, okay? But they have the capital in the minor leagues that Detroit says, hey, we can get those guys, we'll make that deal. The Jets are in the same position as far as draft choices go. They've got more to offer, and everybody in the league knows it. So it's a matter of how much do you have to give up, and more importantly, will the kid be willing to come to New York, to play for a moribund franchise that has the worst record among all the surviving AFL teams dating back to 1970. It's asking a lot for a guy who just said, I got to be happy if I'm going to keep playing football.
Right. Well, one thing I would say, if he's not offered a lot of choices, look, it's the thing, Bob, is there's two sides to the coin. The Bengals are going to say to him, look, we're willing to move on from you. We understand the situation, etc. But you can't expect us to trade you to Pittsburgh and our division or this, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be a little back and forth that has to occur.
Sure.
And from that perspective, the one thing he could say is a positive is we do have an offensive line filled with number one picks that at least, his big complaint, this guy has gotten sacked. I forget there was a statistic.
Over 200 times.
Right.
Yep.
He's been sacked more than the second guy sacked in the same amount of time in the same amount of years has been sacked like 50 less times than him.
Crazy.
I mean, I think Andrew Luck, they compared Andrew Luck to him and how many times he was sacked.
Yeah, the question ultimately may be, is he really willing to just, retire like Andrew Luck did? Andrew Luck did it, I think, because he was so physically beaten up.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, definitely.
I've said this before. My son is a gigantic Indianapolis Colts fan, and we used to watch the Colts together. And I told him for 3 or 4 years, he's gonna get killed because they're just not protecting him. And I remember when they played the Jets and he got sacked, I think 5 times in the first half alone. I said, this kid, I didn't say he's going to quit, but this kid is basically going to get knocked on his ass, and he'll be on the sidelines. He won't be able to keep playing. And he, mentally said, I don't need this anymore, and I'll go do something else. I've made enough money.
Yeah.
And, look, now he's a general manager at Stanford.
Right. One thing I will say, the chance of us winning a game, and I know that's a fear with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Look, Brady Cook is not going to win a game for us. Adrian Martinez is a guy that could come in and surprise some people.
He's not coming in unless Brady Cook gets hurt.
No, if Brady Cook
No, I don't think so.
It throws a couple of picks and looks like
I don't think so.
I think let me just ask this. So you think it looks like it should be announced actually in a couple hours officially that Brady Cook is going to make the first start of his NFL career on Sunday against the Jaguars. You're telling me, Neil, if Brady looks like crap through a quarter, however, it doesn't matter the amount of time. He just looks bad. The Jets go, all right, fuck it. Adrian Martinez, who was on the 49ers earlier this week, you're in, buddy. You think that he would
first
make
of all,
that?
Adrian Martinez knows the playbook. Paul. He's got us all summer.
Yeah, right.
Okay, and you know what? He had 2 very, very good preseason games with us the last 2 years. In fact, he beat Green Bay 30-10.
Sure.
And he had 157 yards passing and a touchdown in that game. And I'll tell you something.
Right.
You know, everybody poo-poos the fact that the guy was an MVP in the U.S. You know, everybody poo-poos
UFL.
the USFL.
That's correct.
I mean, Kurt Warner came from his
He did
story
arena
comes
football.
from,
Yeah. Yep.
you know, look, that kid looks good to me. I don't know. You know, everybody says he didn't look so good. He runs. He knows an offense. He's capable. I didn't see him looking bad in any one of his starts.
And he very well may have picked up some pointers from going out to San Francisco like Darnold did.
Right. Look, I'm just saying this kid Martinez, to me, again, he has experience, Paul. Brady Cook is not ready for the NFL. I mean, it's pretty obvious. He's just not ready. Maybe he'll surprise us. Maybe he'll be competent. But Adrian Martinez has experience. I mean, the guy played a professional quarterback position before coming to the Jets, and that's important.
He did. But I think the Jets are going to give him a chance because, to be honest, Brady Cook and Adrian Martinez were battling for the QB3 role back in camp. Brady beat him for the job, which ended up being on the practice squad. Now, they could be wrong. You can make a decision in August, and it could be wrong later. I think they're going to give Brady a chance. If he ends up starting on Sunday, which, again, I imagine is going to be announced here in the next 2 hours, that they're going to give him a chance to see it through, good and bad. And maybe Martinez, through somewhere in the final 4 games, gets a shot. But I don't think it comes on Sunday unless there's an injury.
Let's put it this way.
The only way I see Adrian Martinez getting a shot is if they're losing a game 30-10 and it's middle of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, well, that might be but we might be seeing that in the second half of the Jaguar game. We don't know. You know, like I said, Martinez lost the job to Cook. Now, basically, they were pretty. I'm not saying one looked better than the other. To me, Martinez looked better in camp.
I thought so too.
Right, but they want, this is a guy coming out of college. He's new. He's fresh. They wanted to see what they have with him.
Future. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wouldn't put too much weight on that. And at the end of the day, if Brady Cook ends up looking so bad, the next game, Martinez will be on deck. If not this game. And like I said, this is a kid that could come in and could move the ball down the field. The one thing that bothered me in that last game, guys, Brady Cook was supposed to have some wheels, right? He has a little bit of running.
He had 1,200 rushing yards in college. Yeah.
He didn't run one time.
Lamar Jackson or Randall Cunningham, but yeah, he didn't. He didn't
run one single time in that game.
I'm curious. Was he nervous?
Not
once.
What?
Yeah, right.
And there was one play in particular that bothered me that he didn't take off, and that's when we had 10 seconds left in the half, and we had a timeout left. We were on the 50-yard line. Miami dropped everybody back in coverage and had not one single guy on the line of scrimmage. You mean to tell me he couldn't run for 12 yards with 10 seconds, step out of bounds, and give us a shot with a field goal? He didn't even attempt that. He just sat back there, rolled out, threw the ball out of bounds, and then we were done for the that bothers me. So let's see what, they really have puppet strings on this guy. And let's see what happens this week with a full week of practice. Maybe he'll look a little bit better, but don't rule out Adrian Martinez coming in here in the next week or two and possibly surprising some people, because I liked what I saw with him both preseasons, last year and this year. Never know. Okay. Take care, guys.
You never know.
Have a good one, Neil.
You're the best. Appreciate it. And by the way, Neil continues to be the leader of our raffle contest. So thank you, Neil, for the 20 raffle tickets
Neil.
last week. Yeah, he's the best. Appreciate that. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. It's one of your favorites. A very different Bill joins us here on the show.
Oh, my God, Bill. Look at you.
How's it going? Yeah, as I told BG, the holidays are around the corner, and I didn't want to keep looking like a homeless Santa Claus.
There you go.
So the beard had to come off.
What's your description of yourself today?
Looking a little younger. And at 67, that takes a lot of doing.
I have to tell you, this has been a torturous week. You're a Met fan too, so you must be feeling it too.
I don't know what to think right now. Stearns is supposed to be a Met fan himself. I'm not sure how much of what's going on today also has to do as much with the owner Cohen as it does with
Why do you think he's
as it does
showing
with
cash
Stearns.
in the casino?
I don't know. I don't know. All I know is that apparently when he met in person with Alonso last year, apparently there were moments where it wasn't pretty. So I just have a feeling that he didn't have a problem with us not keeping Alonso. I'm just curious to see.
Seen the meme that says how to lose your franchise's fans in 2 days?
I haven't seen it, but yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure that there's a lot of fans who are not going to be going to Met games anytime soon. Like I said, I don't know what to make of all this yet. I'm curious to see what Stearns does do as far as personnel changes and so on, and see whether or not it actually makes sense and just maybe the Mets will start going on a road that will finally not only take them to the playoffs, but hopefully keeps them there for years to come. Because that's what all of us fans want. Whether it's with the Jets or with the Mets, we don't want just, okay, we finally get to Super Bowl with the Jets. They win and we're happy and that's it. We don't care what happens over the next 3 or 4 decades. Let those fans worry about it. No, we want the team to keep getting into the playoffs year after year. Same thing with the Mets. Want them to get into the playoffs year after year. Why should the Yankees have all the headlines when it comes to that?
Well, unfortunately, I think we're looking at the New York Brewers. And now let's talk about the Jets.
Okay. When it comes to Burrow, I think the Rams are a much better fit than the Steelers, the Raiders, or the Jets. It also comes down to how many more years is Stafford going to play. If this is Stafford's last year, then it totally makes sense for the Rams to go after Burrow. Nice way to replace him.
When they traded for Stafford, they were willing to basically trade like the next 3-4 years of draft picks to get the guy they wanted.
Right, and for the most part, he's played very, very well for them. So there's not many complaints that can be given. I forget how old Stafford is, but if he is getting 37. Up there in years, 37. So how many more years could he possibly give the Rams? You know what I'm saying? If he gets them to the Super Bowl this year, this could be then his last year, because then he can go out and say, "I done everything that I could possibly do." And then let's say, Joe Burrow would definitely want to come to a team that's already all set in almost all phases of the game and, take them to the Super Bowl as well. I don't see the Steelers going to a Super Bowl anytime soon. And they're the strongest of the 3 teams that were mentioned,
Yeah, right.
Well, they're not trading them in their own division.
I agree.
Yeah. Obviously, that's the other issue. Absolutely, they's in the same division, so it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
When it comes to whether we draft Fernando or not, my question is that even though everybody is higher on the next year's crop of quarterbacks over this year's crop, are there still 2 or 3 quarterbacks from this crop that are still good enough, or if they fall to the Jets at 7 or even the second round, there's like jump at it. Because best case scenario, if we were
not first rounders and not likely second rounders, and let's not forget, and correct me, Paul, if I'm wrong, the anticipation of the quarterback class for this year before the season started was pretty big.
Oh yeah, it was sky high. And now I can't speak to the same conviction about Bob with the second round picks or anything yet. I don't know yet. I haven't done enough work, and I haven't spoken to, which we will once the season's over. Drew Beatty, our draft analyst, will join us, and I'm curious to see, to your point, is there okay, fine, if Fernando's too expensive, or the more likely scenario is less about that whoever it is and the Jets are unwilling to pay the price. I think the more likely thing that blocks the Jets is the team, right? Let's say the Raiders get the number 1 overall pick. They love Mendoza. It doesn't matter what the Jets offer. They're screwed. They're blocked out. They're not going to be able to get him.
Right.
That's where we could go through your potential scenario, Bill, of going like now what? Okay, that's off the table. Now what do we do? So that's something.
Well, what we do right now is we get on the tank train.
Apparently so, right? While you can control it with 4 games left, I guess.
Well, we'll see about that. Anyways, if the Jets decide that this quarterback class is not worth it, they could trade back with the 7th pick to get back that 3rd pick that they don't have currently,
right?
And focus on both the offense and the defense. Wide receiver is definitely a big need. Pass rusher, safety, probably an additional cornerback, which they could probably get hopefully in the 2nd round. So, there's a lot more flexibility for them to build the roster now, this year, and then let the chips fall where they may next year and see which quarterback or quarterbacks would be available to them and go from there.
As of right now, Paul, who does Indiana play in the college football playoffs?
Oh, yes. Let me pull that up. I don't have that in front of me here.
Because I think it's going to be really well. First of all, I'm going to watch every one of those games to see,
of course,
how Mendoza performs. But I think Alon was correct. Let's see how he does against the best defenses in college football.
Oh, well, yeah, I should have known this. Obviously, I'm an idiot. They have a bye being the number 1 overall seed, so we don't know who they're going to play. So it would be the winner of Alabama, Oklahoma.
But they would play the lowest ranked team in the 2nd round.
No, it doesn't work that way. So they will no. So it doesn't just if the 12 wins, they don't automatically play the 12. It's bracketed up. So they would play the winner of Alabama, Oklahoma. So it is all bracketed up, and then you face who moves on. It's not a reseeding situation.
Okay, all right.
Then with Cook, I find it so weird how everyone is quick to criticize him, even though they admit, well, he came in cold, but he didn't impress us. And I'm like, but he came in cold. What did you want? If he came in and throw 2 or 3 touchdowns, what? Now we're going to start saying, oh, you don't need the draft Mendoza. We got the guy right here. So I really don't know what they expect. I want to see now that he's going to come off with the first team practicing this week. I want to see if he's able to implement that running game and use it to then make his passes, because he's shown a good arm. And I still say that 2nd interception was just simply a great defensive play, because he threw the ball on target to his guy, but the guy, the defensive back was there to contest it, and our guy didn't come down with the ball. So I was a little bit more impressed with Cook coming in rusty, than other people might, and I like to see what he'll do now, working with that first team.
What he had going for him was, a very nice record at Missouri. Against a number of good teams, but what he has going against him is that he's a undrafted free agent. Which
I understand.
Which the Jets had minimal expectations from, and he's being given a shot at the end of the season. Shedeur Sanders is being given a shot at the end of the season, and
it's true.
With all the criticism that he's received and his dad has received. The guy's putting up some numbers, and Cleveland does not have a dynamic offense.
Yeah, obviously, I'm hoping for Cook to use this as motivation, that no one expects anything from him, and it's like, well, let me show you exactly what I can do. That what happened in college was not a fluke. So, this is my hope. Because, like I said, best case scenario, he develops to become a solid backup quarterback for us. So we don't have to rely on 35, 37, 38-year-old guys backing up our young guys.
That's true. Bill,
Okay.
I love it. And we'll get one more caller in, and then I got to run because we have another show to do. But yes, to what Alon said, I was going to bring this up, but I didn't want to interrupt the conversation. The contract numbers have come out here for Josh Myers. In case you missed it, a random contract extension happened in the middle of our show, which we love. Josh Myers, the Jets starting center this season, received a 2-year extension for $11 million, $6 million of that guaranteed. Shout out to ESPN NFL insider Jeremy Fowler for the additional information here on this deal. Myers was set to be a free agent this offseason. He signed a 1-year deal for $2 million, so he gets a nice sizable raise here. And just real quick before we go to our final caller, I think this is good business for the Jets. They had 3 of their offensive linemen that were set to be free agents this offseason. Myers, who's now not going to be that. You had John Simpson, your starting left guard, and then you had Elijah Vera Tucker. I don't know what the Jets are going to decide to do, but what this does is give you optionality. A 2-year deal for $11 million is not starter money. So he could start. I'm not saying that's off the table, but the matter is you make sure you have optionality and potentially depth here. Myers played in 56 games with the Packers before he came over here. So he's got NFL experience, playoff experience. He's played guard and center before. So I think this is a smart, savvy move.
And he wants to stay with the Jets.
Clearly, obviously, and to be forward thinking. So I think this is forward thinking on Myers. Get money while the money's good, and the Jets treated you right here, and it all paid off. And for the Jets, they have a guy who could start in a pinch, or worst case, he's good depth. So I think this is a really nice signing here by the New York Jets. I have a full column up on Heavy on Jets. You guys can check that out, and we'll have more to come. Let's go back to before I do, let me catch up on Super Chats here as well. Our guy Philly Noodles, appreciate the super chat coming in here, buddy. Thank you.
Wow.
He's referencing Brady Cook from the Neil conversation about he did run for almost a first down after the injury. So he didn't run enough, but I think that's a common thing with young quarterbacks. That's something they just got to do. Take the green grass in front of you on some of these opportunities and just do it. Sometimes young quarterbacks are hesitant for whatever that reason is of going up there. So, by the way, I like that money. The $6 million guaranteed is a nice little deal for the Jets. All right, one final caller here. And then we'll wrap up the show because, like I said, I got to go do another live show, which we will continue. Man with the Jet Tattoo, we got Carl here.
Carl, good morning.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing, fellas?
Wow,
Good.
Carl, you've never looked better. Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
I was gonna call with that news about Josh Myers. I thought that was a real smart move by them.
Yeah.
And I've been agreeing with Neil for a long time about Adrian Martinez. I don't think Adrian Martinez ever got, the shot he deserved.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good quarterback, and I don't understand why they chose Brady Cook over him. I think Adrian Martinez is capable of being a backup quarterback in this league. That's just my opinion, and I know it's Neil's opinion, but the guy doesn't get any respect at all, and I think the guy was a decent player. Anyway, listen, also, I would not give up the farm for Mendoza. I love Mendoza, but man, we need so much. Our defense sucks. I mean, I don't know about Will McDonald anymore. I don't know what to think of him anymore. I don't know. Jermaine Johnson, I got to cut him a little slack because coming back from the ACL. But I mean, other than that, we need somebody that's going to be able to scare the quarterback.
Hey, what do you think about giving up the farm for Joe Burrow? Would you do that, Carl?
I don't know. I don't think Joe Burrow would come to the Jets.
Fair enough.
I mean, I just don't think. Why would he leave that situation and come to this situation? Because we can tell him we got a good offensive line. I can't see this kid going any place, if he was going any place, except to a team that had a chance to, that they were quarterback away. Let's put it that way.
Fair enough.
I just can't see him with the Jets. I mean, it would be nice if he came to the Jets, but I just don't see it.
Well, big shout out, Jet Santa. Here we go. We've got all our Jet Santa representation here on the show. Carl, you're the best, baby.
Yeah, well, listen, I don't have much to say today. I just got home and
that's all right.
I caught the end. I caught the end of your show.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to say that I just agree with Neil. Neil's been saying this forever, and I've been saying it forever. I think Adrian Martinez is kind of like he reminds me of a Mike White that we had.
Okay. Well, I think he's going to get a shot. Yeah.
Well, I hope he gets a shot. And I'm not judging Brady Cook off that last game because the kid came in cold.
Of course.
Let's see what he can do this week before we start judging him.
Fair enough.
Brady,
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bob.
Brady Cook's big opportunity will be next week in New Orleans.
Yeah, I just don't want to see Justin Fields back.
Fair. Yeah, we're all on the same page here, Carl. We're all on the same page here, Carl. And appreciate the call and appreciate Jet Santa. Happy holidays to you and yours. I see Alon is gifted a 5-pack of Boy Green Coffee Club memberships at the end of this show. Appreciate it. Full tickets for our buddy Alon. Here are the 5 new members to the Boy Green Coffee Club. Patrick Volpe. We have Julio Kelly. We have Mike Ferraro. We have Jose Stefanski. Michael Bartolo. You guys are all now members to the Boy Green Coffee Club. Shout out to Alon for gifting those memberships. All right, Bob, do you have any final thoughts as we put a bow on this puppy? And by the way, shout out to the 400 people that are now in the room. Again, guys, like the video on YouTube. It's a free way to contribute. We appreciate it. Bob, any final thoughts?
Yes, in a very self-serving mood, I want to recommend Beyond Broadway Joe as a stocking stuffer.
There you go, folks. Look it up. Beyond Broadway Joe, the Super Bowl team that changed football. Just give that a Google search, folks. There's a lot of different avenues you can purchase that book. Either, just a lot of different ways. Just
you'll learn a lot about where I'm coming from philosophically about this Jets team, that and about 56 years of misery.
Yep. So it's an absolute holiday read. So make sure you guys enjoy it. Look it up. Thank you. Thank you to Bob.
Everybody
Thank you
have
to
a
all the
great
people.
week.
God bless. Happy holidays. And I'll see you in less than an hour for some more live content because this is just what I do. God bless.